Guys, so today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I will be showing you guys top 5 sports cards that are absolutely on fire. Obviously, the NBA playoffs is in full swing, and the Nuggets actually just took down the Clippers as I'm recording this video, so that's quite crazy. A lot to talk about there, but also in the football world, there is a lot going on. But before we get into that, I do want to say, as you guys know, I have my Sports Card Invest membership group, where I basically show you guys every single week 10 sports cards I believe will go up, some sports cards I believe will go down, and then 3 long-term underground NBA investments. Now, most recently, we've been making an absolute killing, even though, you know, obviously the market has not been quite as hot as it was prior, but we've been making an absolute killing. Last week, we were buying Devontae Adams Topps Chromes for just $3, and they've jumped to around 25. We were buying Christian McCaffrey's 2 weeks ago for $150 in a PSA 10. They've jumped to $400. So just so many picks that have been doing super well. So if you guys would like to go ahead and join, you can go ahead, click the link down below to sportscardsinvest.com and use code YouTube to get you 10% off. I really hope you guys, obviously, you know, are making a lot of money and enjoying the program. We recently actually hit 1,900 Sports Card Invest members, which I want to thank you guys so much for. So obviously, you know, I wouldn't be able to make this type of content if it weren't for you guys supporting. So thank you guys so much. Once again, use code YouTube for 10% off. If you would like to make some money with us, you know, obviously get some ideas from us, go ahead and click the link down below to sportscardsinvest.com or message me on Instagram at sportscardinvest. But without further ado, we're going to hop right into this video. So obviously the first card that has been going quite crazy is Jamal Murray's PSA 10 Prism. Obviously not so surprising there. Jamal Murray had an absolute, you know, crazy postseason so far, and, you know, obviously they're moving on now to face the Los Angeles Lakers. As I'm literally recording this 10 to 15 minutes after the game just ended, and Jamal Murray's PSA 10 Prism is up to $695. When they were down 3-1, these were selling as low as $200. Yes, you heard me right. So as you guys can see right here, these were as low as $230 for a PSA 10. In terms of if you guys have this card, my recommendation is to personally sell. That's what I would personally do if it were my card, if I owned any Jamal Murray. But, you know, obviously, a lot of people, you have a reason to be optimistic, honestly. They came back 3-1 from the Jazz. They just came back 3-1 from the Clippers. You know, you have to be optimistic at this point that they could come back from the Lakers. But I personally would not push my luck. I would take the profits and move on, because that's, you know, quite expensive, honestly, for Jamal Murray. I think long-term, you know, Jokic should be a lot more expensive than Jamal Murray. Just my personal opinion. So next up, yeah, we do have Nikola Jokic on this list of top 5 sports cards going up. I personally believe Jokic is a bit underpriced right now. I would probably hold for the moment, just because if Murray is up to 700, I think Jokic should be even higher. First of all, Jokic's Prism has a lower pop report than Murray's, because it's 2015 and Murray was 2016. But also, you know, Jokic is a little bit more of a proven star in this league than Murray. Murray's had an incredible postseason, you know, maybe a better playoffs than Jokic has. But in terms of, you know, actual, you know, star level, I think Jokic is a level above Murray. But so that's my personal opinion. If I were, you know, betting on the Nuggets, I would personally sell Murray and buy Jokic at this point. I think Jokic, you know, obviously his cards have had an incredible run. I remember buying these up for $60 and they went up to 200, and I went ahead and sold off. But, you know, right now they've been jumping, and recently I've been seeing them sell for around $600, which is quite nuts. I really, you know, it's hard to predict the Lakers series at this point. You know, my personal gut's telling me the Lakers are going to win. But, you know, the Nuggets keep proving me wrong. I would have never thought they would have beat the Clippers. So, you know, that's some fun excitement. But without further ado, we're going to hop right into a little bit of football. We got Clyde Edwards-Helaire who has been, going off recently. He had a very good week 1. Obviously, he's with the Chiefs. They have a very powerful offense with obviously Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and now Clyde Edwards is another threat in their offense, which is very exciting. His cards overall, I've been seeing them sell for quite crazy numbers. He doesn't have, his optic is probably, his best rookie, and they've been really going up a lot recently. And I just really, it's hard to tell whether this is going to be sustainable. It's hard to tell whether that was one very good game or whether, he's going to have those type of games this whole season. But, I don't know. Me personally, I would be selling off right now. But, if you do believe in him, if you're a Chiefs fan, I totally understand, holding on and seeing what happens if he can continue playing this well. But, his prices are at some crazy levels. Obviously his optic cards are literally at the price of Christian McCaffrey, which I believe is a bit overpriced. I think they're even more than Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey's base Donruss, I believe, I'm not sure if they made Donruss that year, but his base optic for McCaffrey is like $30, and that's about the price of a Donruss Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So, obviously there's stuff to think about, whether it's sustainable, whether it's not. Obviously I'm probably, my view is just an opinion. So, obviously do what you feel, but I think the prices are a bit high on Clyde Edwards-Helaire right now. But without further ado, we're going to hop right into the next pick, which is Kyler Murray. His cards have been on a run. Obviously, they had a big week 1 win against San Francisco. That was obviously a little bit of an upset. Obviously, the Niners were in the final, or the Super Bowl last year. Sorry, I'm a little bit on basketball right now. But, obviously, the Niners were in the Super Bowl last year, had a crazy run. They didn't lose many pieces to the point where they were still obviously favored to win against the Cardinals. But the Cardinals came up big. I believe they won 24-10. Quite good game for Murray. And I think he has a bright future ahead of him. So definitely, I think this is a good pickup. It's around $950 recently, I believe I saw them sell for on Facebook groups, but this card was a $700 card just a week ago, so that's a quite big run, and I think Murray could have a very good season this year. So obviously, that's things to think about. I think Murray is not a sell at the moment. I think he's more so of a hold. I wouldn't be buying him crazy right now, just because they're a bit high in terms of short term. They've gone up quite a lot, but obviously, Murray has a very bright future. But without further ado, we're going to hop right back into basketball to finish off with Michael Porter Jr. He did not have a very good game in Game 7, but at the same time, they have another at least 4 games, for him to have a good game. So these prices have really bounced back. They went as low as $200 just as of yesterday. I believe if we go back, when they were down 2-1, I think they were even cheaper, or when they were down 3-1. These really dipped hard. They were up at around $600. They dipped to $200. And right now, most recently, I believe they're back up. Okay, so silver is around $700 to $800. The silver was selling a few weeks ago. About a week ago, the silvers were selling for around $500. They stooped down to as low as $500, and now they're back up to $800. So that's a good sign for Michael Porter Jr.'s market. But obviously this is a kind of risky hold in my opinion. Michael Porter Jr. is a little bit elevated right now just because they're in the playoffs, but obviously there is some room if he can have some more good games against the Lakers. If the Nuggets can somehow pull it off against the Lakers, expect all these Nuggets prices to go through the roof again because, at this point, the Nuggets deserve all this, hype around their prices going up and all that. I think they deserve it. They've had a hell of a run this playoff so far, but I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. Once again, if you guys would like to join the membership group, click the link down below. Use code YouTube for 10% off. Other than that, I hope you guys really did enjoy this video, and I'm out. Peace.